Around 6 years ago, my buddies and I had a little tradition during our senior year of high school, where we'd stay out all night skating, exploring all kinds of spooky areas. And this was before any of us had a car, so everything was traveled by foot. One night in particular, we had ventured out over an hour from our usual exploration areas, and we came across a heavily wooded that we hadn't been through before. The time had to have been around 2 or 3 a.m., and just looking into those woods gave me an incredible feeling of unease that I had never felt before. My buddies were determined to go through it, but I decided against it, and instead told my friends that I'd just skate walk around and meet them at the gas station on the other side. It took me around 30 minutes to skate around the entire area. I waited at the exit of the woods for about 15 minutes before crossing the 4-lane street that led to the gas station. I asked the clerk if 3 guys' other teen had come in. He tells me no. So I head back out to wait in the front. 10 more minutes pass before I can hear heavy footsteps moving quick from behind the gas station's main building. Next thing I know, I see all 3 of my buddies, sweaty, out of breath, and looking like they've witnessed a murder. We head into the gas station and sit at the small seating area. They then go on to tell me that somewhere halfway into those woods, they heard strange noises behind them, and when they turned around to look, they saw a tall white figure with red eyes staring at them. They said they freaked out and just took off. As they neared the end of the woods, they could hear the leaves and branches rustling as if it were chasing them. They kept running until they crossed the road separating the woods from the gas station. And once they were at the back of the gas station, they looked back and could see the figure just standing at the edge of the woods, unmoving. The way they described was that it only vaguely was shaped like a human, more like a Sasquatch, Bigfoot-type creature, but it was white in color and had piercing red eyes. Honestly, I had never seen anyone so distressed in the way that my friends were. They genuinely seemed terrified, and that night was of the last times they ever wanted to stay out all night. I think about this night a lot, even to this day. Okay, so I've got one that I've shared before, but I'll do it again. This was about 11 years ago when I lived in southern Montana. We have coyotes and an occasional mountain lion sighting, but no bears. My house was just a bit outside of town, and the neighborhood made a large circle. We'd seen mountain lions on the cliffs behind our house, and coyotes a couple streets further back before. It was late summer or early fall, around 2 or 3 a.m. when I decided to go for a walk, like I did often. Now there is this spot on my walk that was a large open lot that was a hill, on a curved part of road, so you couldn't see around it. On the other side of this area was a drained irrigation ditch. Now, this lot always gave me the creeps, and it wasn't just me. Everyone I talked to didn't like this area. I had just gotten to this area when the asphalt turned to gravel and my flashlight went out. I heard a truck come barreling around the corner, and the person driving slammed on the brakes right in front of me. I thought it was a little weird since I was on the side of the road, but then I realized he wasn't looking at me. I turned to look towards the irrigation ditch, and that's when I saw them. 3 large masses moved out from behind a tree. They had the ears and muzzle of a dog or wolf. Their bodies were muscular, but they were hunched and moved in a really odd fashion. They'd extend one claw forward, and then do like a hop, drag motion for the rest of their body to catch up. They all disappeared into the ditch. I looked back at the truck, and the guy stepped on the gas, kicking up rocks behind him as he sped off. I was left in the dark for a few moments, stunned, and then my flashlight flickered back on. It would have been faster for me to go home past the empty lot and irrigation ditch, but I sprinted the other way. A house from mine, there was an alleyway that went back to some caves with large lilac bushes lining the alley. As I was running by the alley, I heard rustling. I got to my house and went to fling open the sliding glass door when I heard a low growl from behind. I ran inside, shut the door, and shined the light into the bushes that the growl had come from. My light caught a reflection of eyes before it disappeared. I went back the next day. Based off the tree they'd come out from behind, they were about 4 feet tall, hunched. Where I saw the eyes would have been about 7 feet. I didn't got walking at night after that. Though I don't believe this to really be supernatural, and I think it might have just been me and my friend being on edge. I lived near a lake, and beside it was a river that had several rocks to walk over. On the other side was a field, and me and a friend were exploring it together when we found a small trail leading up a hill, which we'd never seen before, while looking around. So it sort of creeped us out. The lake was empty when we walked past to the river, so we shouldn't have been able to hear anyone, but we heard a kid probably young, like 7 or 8, laugh, and then we heard footsteps running towards us. But they were coming from a pretty large thorn bush. So there was no way anyone was getting through that, let alone laughing as they ran. But let's just say we didn't stick around to find out and bolted. We never found anything else supernatural when we went back, but it was still creepy.